Looking at all the discarded designs for Elma's true form, there's one thing that survived through all iterations, whether they are weird jellyfish tentacles, crystalline horns, or just comically large eyebrows. All her designs have something that could be interpreted as some type of antenna. In fact, the scribbles of her final design refers to these crystal protrusions as a soma crown. Soma being a term used to describe the body as distinctively separated from the soul, mind or psyche. As if this wasn't already confusing enough, Monolith Soft also made a game called Soma Bringer, so what this is about is anyone's guess. Stranger still is that the same scribbles also refer to this Soma crown as some type of connection to something called canon, which given the series' overuse of religious references might likely just be a strange translation of cherub or cherubim, which are the angels that reside by God's throne. So the dumb antenna-like structures found on all of Elma's designs seem to somehow psychically connect her to whatever these Caleb or cherub are supposed to be. Given Elma's other superficial similarities with the Trinity processor and the Catamony, her design in the art book featuring something akin to a core crystal, and her seemingly vital importance to the Lifehold's base functions, it seems likely that the Caleb might have been planned to be some type of autonomous defense system of the Lifehold, similar in nature to the Trinity processor's artifices, or Deus Seraphim angels, or perhaps Elma's race or whatever she is, was just literally in contact with angels or something. As nothing of this made its way into the finished game, all that remains of this strange reference to a Soma crown and Caleb's are the crystals sprouting from her head. Another unrelated but equally strange note found in the game's art book refers to the Ares skull, which might have originally been the player's primary mech, or would have at least played a bigger role in the story, as having been infected by some kind of virus or something of that nature. The art book makes notion that the bandages wrapped around the robot are drenched with some type of incense or ointment. Given the cultural connection between incense and warding off spirits, it seems likely that this strange virus might have been connected to the equally strange alien faction only referred to as ghosts. With that said, it is time to address the elephant in the room, that being the Ares and the ghost strange similarities to the Ouroboros from Xenoblade 3. Of course, their similar appearances could be explained away by Choco's design sensibilities. However, for all of them to share the same color palette and cores embedded into them seems a bit much. Sure, they could always just be reusing ideas that they simply couldn't execute on in Xenoblade X, or perhaps it might hint at a potential connection between the two games. Let me preface this by saying that I don't think X in its current form will actually be ever followed up on. Instead, I think it more likely that they might do a full-on reimagining of X as it stands. X's story is a mess and it barely covers Act 1 of a conventional story structure. It would also make more sense from a business standpoint to sell a completely new game, than starting the series' next phase with a remaster of a 10-year-old game that barely has any story in it to begin with. Thus, I think it would make more sense if they just straight up rebooted X instead of following up on it. The Ares mech was originally supposed to be a tandem mech, piloted by Elma and an unknown hero, so not only does the Ares look alike in Ouroboros, but it also required both a male and a female pilot, same as the Ouroboros fusions themselves. Either the Ouroboros and Xenoblade 3 simply reuse a scrapped concept they had for Xenoblade X, or the Ares are actually Ouroboros outfitted with a mechanical user interface, in which case the Vita's true pilot, also known as the Great One, might also be connected to its Ouroboros, as the Vita also shares similar design elements. But that's really just baseless speculation. Maybe Xenoblade 3 will actually be the genesis of the Samarians and the ghosts, or perhaps it is just picking up pieces from the cutting room floor.